Good morning, y'all. It's Cody's Bait and Tackle, Warsaw, Missouri. Cody's Guide Service. Got a little bit to add in about this week's fishing. There's been a lot of changes this week. We did get some rain. Everything's kind of jumping forward right now with the fishing. I fished all week, minus one day it rained all day. There was some major changes in the fish patterns every day. So it would have been Thursday or Wednesday they ran water pretty well all day. Our Bagnall pulled water pretty well all day. There was current. We anchored up. We had some really good fish. Biggest one was probably mid-upper 50s. Then fish kind of scattered out in the river channel, which was the first I had really caught them in the river channel on Lake of the Ozarks for a while. As far as on Truman, I have not heard a whole lot on the catfishing. I did hear sparrowfoot picked up, a lot of slot fish. If you just want to have fun and catch fish and have action, that's where to go. If you're wanting fish to take home, that is not where to go. There's a few big fish being caught up there, but there's not very many eaters coming out. I talked to one of the guides up there, Fisher. I talked to him. He said he had a real good day early in the week up there. Had 4 big fish and a ton of slot fish. Didn't hardly have any under the slot fish at all. But he did have some really good action. I think that was Monday or Tuesday. I talked to him. Then on the crappie up on Truman, which I kind of noticed this on the Lake of the Ozarks the last week, them fish are starting to stage up in the creeks. I talked to Jay Terry with Rock Hill Jigs. He's been fishing the Upper Tebow and Upper Grand, fishing in big feeder creeks. He said them crappie are all staging up really good. He's been fishing standing timber and brush piles. 8 to 12 foot of water, down 4 to 6 foot yesterday. He said just go in there and graph. He's been using her jigs, the jigs he's making. He's done really good. Quick limits, lots of fish, he said. Said they're really staging up good and big schools of them. Just like we was seeing last winter up there. Yesterday on Lake of the Ozarks, there was no current flow at all. We got there, evidently Bagnall had been pulling water pretty hard. We got set up, had a little bit of back current on a ledge that was just piled with fish. This was the ledges yesterday had more fish on them than I have seen so far this fall. They had kind of been scattered out, suspended in the channel and scattered out up on the mud flats and on the edges of the ledges and stuff. Yesterday they was all halfway down the ledge. When we got there, got set up, I actually mud poled the spot I don't never fish, just because it looked like there was some active fish there. We got set up, we couldn't keep rods in the water. Biggest fish was about a 20-pound flathead we caught right there. As soon as that little bit of back current stopped coming back up that ledge, them fish shut off and we never could get on a good bite the rest of the day. They just kind of hunkered down, fish quit moving around, bait quit moving around. I don't know if it was a pressure change or wind direction change or what, but we caught fish everywhere we set up after that, but it was just one here or two maybe, then have to move and catch a few more. But it definitely looked like them fish on Lake of the Ozarks are going to start kind of moving in with the bait and setting on them ledges more so the later part of this week. Thursday morning, or Wednesday morning, the day I had current down there, I anchored up all day. Them fish, before the current really started heavy, they was all right on top of the ledge. I nosed up on the bank. We couldn't keep rods in the water. And then when that current started, I pulled out, spot locked my trolling motor and sat there anchored up for probably 2 or 3 hours with solid action. It was really good. I mean, several big slot fish. Only had the one great big one, but there was some really good action. So I think that catfish bite's really going to start kicking off here. I bet after that little bit of running water through the lake, a little bit of rain, I'm betting Truman and the catfish are going to be back on this next week. If not this weekend, they'll be back in a full-blown late fall, early winter pattern, it looks like. Looks like they might just kind of jump ahead a little bit since that water temperature is in the mid to upper 50s. I didn't see 60-degree water anywhere this week. The coves, most of the coves was down in the low 50s. I think I seen 50 one morning when I was catching bait. The bait did move out a little bit deeper. It kind of jumped right out of them pockets. There was a lot of bait on the main lake, on the Lake of the Ozarks yesterday. A lot of it was completely out of the coves. And it kind of moved in and out all week. One day it'd be in the cove, next day it wouldn't be. So patterns are changing really fast this week with the changes in the water. On Lake of the Ozarks, man, them big feeder creeks are flat loading up with the crappie. Some of them docks I side scanned under was just loaded with crappie. And right out in the middle of them coves, if a guy wanted to spider rig right now or just go out and live scope and chase single fish, they are everywhere. I mean everywhere in some of them medium-sized feeder creeks. I didn't get in any of the big ones. I did see some fish like in Rainy Creek, Proctor Creek. There's quite a few fish in there. Some of them smaller pockets are holding more fish, more crappie right now than them bigger ones, I think. But I didn't side scan underneath very many docks in them bigger creeks. Didn't really see nobody on the water this week. One or two catfishing boats this week. It's been pretty dead down on Lake of the Ozarks, so if you want to have a quiet fishing trip, that's definitely where to go right now. Truman, you know, it's getting pressured a lot harder right now than Lake of the Ozarks is. Catfish and crappie wise. So that's really about all I've got. I ain't heard nothing on bass. I watched a guy yesterday throw buzz baits in the back end of the pockets. I didn't see him catch anything. I seen him throw some look like shallow crankbaits too along the docks. Didn't see much action going on. He said it had been pretty slow, but I think a lot of them fish was starting to kind of move out of them pockets yesterday. Did see some white bass in them yesterday morning. I didn't net any, but when I was side scanning, I seen some fish up chasing along the banks, it looked like. That's really about it. I know there was some white bass caught on the banks this week on Truman, but it was pretty spotty. I didn't see anybody really doing good on it. I don't know, maybe they jumped back out. I don't think they're done off the windy banks, but this week was hit and miss on them. That's about all I got for you guys. If you guys got youth hunters out this weekend, good luck to them. Hope we see some big deer pictures. We'll have our kids out hunting all weekend, so me and Jessica won't be in the shop. We'll be out chasing deer with the kids. I appreciate it, y'all. Good luck.